Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Welcome to Newcastle. So yesterday we were talking about what is the meaning of life. It was not about only living a desire-oriented activity in this world, isn't it? That was the conclusion, that you have to live in the remembrance of the Lord while functioning in the world. This was the conclusion that we came yesterday. But today we talk about a little bit different. Another way of, how should I say, grace of God, how it expresses. Once upon a time, there was a big demon. His name was Hiranyakashipu. You know Hiranyakashipu's story? No. Some of you know? You know? Okay. Very good. If I go wrong, you tell me, okay? If I go wrong, you tell me. And there was he had a brother also, elder brother. His name was Hiranyaksh. And he had a big head and big horns on his head. Hiranyakashipu, he had horns going out like that one. His elder brother, he had the horns going up like that. But that he had been killed by Lord Narayana. But this Hiranyakashipu, he did many years of practice. And what did he do? He stood on one leg and chanted, Om Brahmane Namaha, Om Brahmane Namaha. Who is Brahma? You know? Who is Brahma? Don't look at mom. You said you know the story. So Brahmaji is the creator. And he prayed to the Lord for thousands of years. And as a result, while he was gone, and when did he do this sadhana, this practice? After he had defeated all the gods, the gods in heaven. And when he went there, his palace, there is no king. At that time, the king of heavens, he came down to his palace and he took away his wife. And who was his wife? She was pregnant with a child. And the king of heaven thought that if I kill the wife and if I kill the child, there will be no one after Hiranyakashipu. And Hiranyakashipu, when he comes to know that his wife and child have died, he will be easy to defeat and I'll kill him afterwards. Thinking this, he takes away our Hiranyakashipu's wife with the baby in the womb. And he's pulling her. She doesn't want to go, but she's pulling. Suddenly, you have heard of Narad Muni? Narada? Narada is the devotee of Lord Narayana. He comes in between and he says, Oh, Indra, does it look good that you are pulling away a woman who is pregnant with so much force to the heaven? This is not right. He says, then what do I do? Because once the Hiranyakashipu comes back, he is going to destroy everything. And Narad Muni says, I will guarantee you that, do you trust me? He says, yes. Am I like your elder brother? Yes. So give me the wife. I'll take her to my ashram, and after that, you remain undisturbed. So he said, okay, because he trusted Narad Muni. Narad Muni's ashram was in the hills, in the Himalayas, by the lake, and at the foot of the mountain, where no person ever goes. And he said, yeah, I think that is safe. And he took the lady there, the wife of Hiranyakashipu, and while the child is growing inside the tummy of the mother, Narad Muni, what does he do? Hello, Advai. Mummy, why is asking me the questions again and again? He used to chant, he's the devotee of Lord Narayana, no? So he used to chant, Om Namo Narayanaya. Repeat after me. Om Namo Narayanaya. Om Namo Narayanaya. Om Namo Narayanaya. In this manner, the Narad Muni, every day from after bath in the morning, he used to be chanting the mantra or chanting the Srimad Bhagavatam. And this baby in the womb of the mother is listening. This is called? No, this is called prenatal education. This is called prenatal education. So while the baby was in the womb of the mother, he was a Rakshasa Putra, huh? But he was initiated in the Narayana mantra. He heard the stories of Srimad Bhagavat over the 9 months that or 8 months that she was with the Narad Muni. And when the child was born, he was already a great devotee of the Lord. And then she asked, now the child is born, she asked, what should I name him? He was given the name Prahlad. Prahlad. Ahlad means joy. Prahlad means extreme joy. Pra, whenever is added, it means it increases the quality or the quantity or the bliss. Ahlad is bliss. So, or the joy, extreme joy, great joy, greatest joy. And as this child, now who is going to be the teacher? Yes, he is always with the mother, but he is attracted. He also sits with the Narad Muni on one asan. He also is chanting Om Namo Narayana. I remember when Melbourne, one couple was staying with me when they had migrated, and they had a small child. She was just learning to crawl. Huh? She used to move on her bum, not even on the force, only on the bum. And every morning she used to come and she used to look at my door and go away because it's locked. And from inside my room, Om, the mantra Ucharan is going on before when I used to sit for meditation. And one day she found the door open. And I was putting the clothes for drying outside. And she moved on her bum and came there and saw the room open, entered the room, because she has been noticing the sound comes from somewhere. Where does it come? And maybe 1 or 2 times she must have seen me, because I must have left the door open, that I'm sitting and meditating. And she enters into my room, slides down to my asan, sits on my asan, and she's sitting like this. 1.5 year old, 1 year old, 1 year, 2 months old. And she's sitting like that, trying to copy how I used to sit. See, this is called that Satsang. What here is happening is Satsang. That was Satsang for her. And now she's grown up. Now she's 12, 13 year old now. From Rishike, apna Shweta's daughter, elder one. So this Prahlad, he is sitting and chanting the mantra. After 1 year, the father, remember the one who had the horns coming out like this from above the ears, he came back. He got the boon that nobody will be able to kill him. And what was the boon that he got from Brahmaji? He said, I want to be immortal. I should not be able to kill. He says, I cannot give you that. I don't have that power. Right? So what can, he says, you ask. He says, I should not be killed in the day or night. I should not be killed inside or outside. I should not be killed by weapon or missile. I should not be killed by a man or woman, and so on. All opposites he covers. Brahmaji says, Tathastu, so be it. Hiranyakashipu thinks that he has become invincible. Nobody can kill him. Nobody can destroy him. And he goes around the earth telling everyone, like nowadays you are seeing the same thing happened in those times also, many thousands of years ago. He destroyed all Vishnu temples. And instead, what did he put? He made a stone statue of himself and said, pray to me, I am God now for all of you. I am God. And after having done this, he said, now for whom am I doing all this? This is for my son. Oh, where is my son? Comes to know. He is in Narad Muni's ashram, goes to Narad Muni ashram. He says, I want to take my son. I cannot live without my son. Narad Muni says, he is enjoying. He is only 1 year old. Let him get some samskars. And he knows Narad Muni is not, he doesn't take sides. Narad Muni is only a messenger. So he says, okay, 1 more year. Then 1 more year. 3 years, 4 years, he stays there. After that, he comes back, brings the Prahlad and his wife back to the palace. Now, once you are 5 years old, what is the job to be done? 5, 6 years old? You have to do the Janeyu Sanskar you just did for your son. Huh? And what do you do after Janeyu Sanskar? The student, the brahmachari, must live in the ashram with the guru to study the scriptures. So he was sent to the ashram, and as he is studying in the ashram, very quickly he learnt everything. Everything he learnt, all the scriptures. And the teacher saw, this is very smart student. And they said, hey Prahlad, why don't you teach other students and we'll take a holiday? So the teachers went on holiday, and the young student, he is teaching all other students. Who is the teacher? Prahlad. And what is he teaching once the teacher go away? He is teaching them, Vishnu is the greatest God. We must pray to Lord Vishnu. We must be surrendered to Vishnu. We must sing the glory of Lord Vishnu. Bolo Narayan Bhagwan ki Jai. And in this way, after 1 year, Hiranyakashipu comes and says, son came back to the palace on holidays. So in front of all the people in the palace, he took the child and put him on his lap, and to show off in front of all the people, because the teachers had told that he knows everything, he knows all the scriptures. He put his hand on the head of his son and he says, tell me that one thing which is most important that you learnt in the ashram. He says that Lord Vishnu is the greatest. Ek thappad mara. One he gets. What? I am going around and saying, Om Hiranyakashapaya Namah. I am making my temples, and my son is saying Lord Vishnu is the greatest. And he was perplexed. And he tells the teachers that, hey, you teach him properly. What are you doing? And after 6 months, they still are not able to change him. And Hiranyakashipu becomes very angry with his son. And now what he does? He becomes his son's own enemy. Because Vishnu is his enemy. You know Lord Vishnu or Lord Narayana? You have heard of him? No. Hey, you haven't shown them Lord Narayana photograph? Or Lord Shiva, you know? Lord Narayana? Lord Narayana? Good. So anyway, it's a story. They know or they don't know, it does not matter. And then one day, you know what he did? Hey, Chutku, hero, I'm telling you. You know what he did to that small boy? He was your age, maybe a little bit older. He took that boy and put him in a room full of snakes. You know what is snake? Good. They should be scared and then they should come out of it also. And he put him in the child, and they closed the door. And they said, oh, now all the snakes will bite this child and he will be dead. And what did Prahlad do inside the room? Om Namo Narayanaya. Om Namo Narayanaya. And we chanted few times and all the snakes converted into garlands. They all converted into garlands. And when after half a day they came to check what happened to, we will find a dead Prahlad, but instead a smiling, a glowing Prahlad with many garlands around his neck. He is walking out. Then they made one big, huge elephant. You know, in the olden times there were elephants with not only 2 tusks, they had 4, 6 tusks. And they gave him lot of alcohol, made him drunk, and they teased him, they didn't give him food. So he became very angry. And while that angry elephant was running, they put Prahlad on the way so that elephant tramples Prahlad and kills him. Hiranyakashipu, the father, is trying to kill his own son because he is a devotee of Lord Vishnu, not his devotee. So he puts, and that again the child, what does he do? Om Namo Narayanaya. And that elephant, as he is running, dug, 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 and the moment he comes in front of Prahlad, whose hands are clasped together in Namaskar Mudra, and he is chanting Om Namo Narayanaya, suddenly, just where these kids are sitting, he comes and lies down, comes down on his feet, and lifts Prahlad with his trunk and places him on his head. A drunken elephant becomes normal by listening to Om Namo Narayanaya. Now, Hiranyakashipu is very angry. He says, we have to find another way how to finish this fellow off. He's getting frustrated. And as a result of that frustration, someone gives him an idea. I think we should throw him down the cliff. They take him and take him to the highest cliff in the kingdom, and from there they throw him down. And what is the child doing? Om Namo Narayanaya. As the Prahlad is falling down through the space, through the air, down to, it must be 3,000-4,000 feet. If he falls down, you can't find where his hand, where his leg, where his head, everything will be split apart. But he is chanting only one thing. He has got only one place where his heart is established. Om Namo Narayanaya. Has he seen the Lord? No. But does he have faith in the Lord? Yes. Why? Because from childhood, not even childhood, even while he was in the womb of the mother, he has been listening to that mantra, and he comes. And as he is chanting, suddenly under him, a huge flower appears, and it becomes like a parachute, and he slowly comes down to the ground. And when they go, the soldiers go down to the cliff to see where this child is, how many pieces of bones can we find. They find Prahlad sitting on that big flower chanting Om Namo Narayanaya. See? Now the father becomes very, very angry with his son. He is so frustrated. He brings his son to the room, and he says, who is this fellow whom you are remembering all the time? He says, this is the Lord Vishnu. He is the Lord Narayana. He says, where is he? He says, Prahlad says, he is everywhere. And then he adds one more thing. He is inside you also, Dad. And when he hears that he is inside of me, the Hiranyakashipu, he becomes very, very angry. And in that anger, he says, is your God in this pillar also? You see this pillar? Like this. Is this in the pillar? He says, yes. He says, let me kill him right now. And he takes his mace, mace, gada. He takes it and hits. And he is chanting only Om Namo Narayanaya. And the pillar breaks. And out of that comes Narsimha Bhagwan. Who is Narsimha Bhagwan? He is half man, half lion. And he comes out. And he starts fighting. And within few minutes, Hiranyakashipu is lifted like a piece of paper by Lord Narasimha Bhagwan. And he says to Hiranyakashipu, you said you should not be killed in the day or night. Look outside, it is sunset time. So it is correct time. You said you should not be killed inside or outside. See, where are you? You are at the doorway. When you are at the door, you are neither inside the house nor outside the house. You said I should not be killed on the earth or in the sky. Where are you? You are on my lap. You are not on the ground, you are not in the sky. You said you should not be killed by weapon or missile. See, I am going to kill you with my claws. I am going to tear you apart. And you said I should not be killed by a man, woman or God. I am neither man or animal. I am half man, half lion. And saying this, your wish has come true. Boom. Bolo Narsimha Bhagwan ki Jai. And in this manner, that young Prahlad, he became a great, even though he is a Rakshasa, he is coming from a demon family, but he becomes a great devotee of the Lord. Now, having entertained the children, let's go to the next step. Now, what is that makes a fit student? Yesterday we were talking about getting ready for liberation. What is a fit student who is ready for liberation? What is liberation for you? What is liberation for you? What is moksha? Mummy of Advaya? What is mukti? Mukti is salvation, but what does it mean? It means
Free from desires.
Free from desire is mind. Then
No
what?
rebirth. No rebirth.
No rebirth is the result, is the consequence of it. But what is liberation? What is mukti?
Is it detachment?
No, detachment is required for mukti.
Dissolving the ego.
Huh?
Dissolving the ego.
Wise man has spoken. Bolo Suraj Maharaj ki Jai. Learn something from him. Dissolution of ego. This is mukti. So what is ego? If someone asks this question, if you say it is dissolving the ego, then naturally next question comes, what is ego? What is ego?
Where you just like show anger and
Yes, very good. Anger, greed, jealousy, envy, hypocrisy, arrogance. These are the expressions of ego. But what is ego? See, like for example, you are a brother, you are a son, you are a friend. These are expressions of you, isn't it? But who are you? I am a boy, isn't it? So similarly, anger, greed, jealousy, etc. are expressions of ego. But what is ego?
I don't say anything. No I. Everything is done by God.
Yeah, but don't go further. Only tell what is ego. Wise man? You said dissolution of ego. What is ego then? Okay, I'll give you one example.
I'm not doing anything.
Wait.
Everything is done by.
Yeah, but that is not the answer for ego. So I'll give you one example, you will understand. Have you all seen water?
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
Have you seen ice?
Yes. No.
Have you seen ice? Yes. Is water comfortable in every pot? It takes the shape of the pot, isn't it? Water can fit in any pot, isn't it? If it is long, it is wide, it is round, any type of container, it will fit in. Can ice fit in any container?
Yes.
How?
Because ice is technically water, so if it freezes, it becomes ice.
No, I said if I have a cube of ice and equivalent amount of water, that water will fit in any container. But the ice, if I want to put it in a test tube or in a very narrow tube, can you push it in? You cannot. So it cannot go in, isn't it? So what is the difference between ice and water?
Flexibility. Form flexibility.
Flexibility, form, correct? Anyone else think? What is the difference between water and ice?
Free flowing.
Water is free flowing, ice is not free flowing.
Ice is solid and water is
Very good.
gas.
So ice is solid, ice has a shape and a form, water is liquid, no shape and no form. Hey? And therefore it is uncomfortable everywhere. But what is the material which goes into making the ice? Water. So water frozen in time is called ice. If ice melts, what is it? Comfortable everywhere. Exactly the same way, ego. The consciousness that we are, the life that we are, frozen in time, it is called ego or individuality. You melt the individuality, it is like water, comfortable everywhere. There is no place that it is not in the ocean, isn't it? And how do you do it? There are different ways. There is Kundalini, there is Kriya Yoga, there is Bhakti Yoga, there is Naam Jap, there is meditation, there is Ashtanga Yoga. There are different ways. And why are they there? Only to dissolve the ego. Why marriage is there? Right. Not dissolve, destroy. So, this is your benchmark. As you are growing in life, in a family, is your ego getting dissolved or destroyed? If it is not, then we are going the wrong way in family. So ego is, just as ice is crystallization of water, similarly, ego is crystallization of the divinity. You are divinity, God is divinity, no doubt. But you don't know it. Why? Even though you are God, God says, I created the world and I entered the world. So, water will say, I created the ice and I entered the ice. It is always there, isn't it? Then why the individual like you and me, why do we not recognize the God? And instead, when we forget the God, we become individual, we become egoistic. When we remember the God, automatically the individuality or the ego starts melting away, starts dissolving. And this happens, this individuality comes about because we forget that we are infinite like God or as God, and we start thinking we are only this body. So water, which is infinite in nature, it starts thinking, I'm only this ice cube. See? And the moment it starts thinking it is only the ice cube, then it is in competition, it is in comparison, it is in survival mode, it wants to procure things, how I can save myself, how can I have a longer life, why the rest of the water, why that other ice is pushing me into the warmer waters, I think I must do something. Right? I think I should control the weather, the seasons, because when the summer comes, I melt away. I don't want to melt. See? And continuous struggle. For whom? For ice. For water? No struggle. For divinity, which is our essential nature, no struggle. For individual or ego, only struggle. Water, happy everywhere in all circumstances. Ice, never happy. Always uncomfortable. So same is our situation. So melt. And that the way to melt is like Prahlad, thinking of the Lord continuously. And this is our Sanatan Dharma, that we teach the children from childhood. We give them the proper samskaras. Instead of showing them Pokemon and all these, or Simpsons and all that, you show them the godly pictures. You show them initiate them into the Om or the stories of the Lord. So somewhere it will catch them. Somewhere it will click into them. Okay? And so now let's look at what are the qualities that are required in order to dissolve this ego. Just in short, I'm not going to take too much time. Already half an hour is over. So here it says, we saw that we have to approach a teacher to study the scriptures. We saw that also, a fourfold qualification. Yesterday, when we came back to home, he asked me some question, and then answer came. What are the qualifications of a fit student, of a seeker? Seeker meaning we are all egos at the moment, individuals. And what is our goal? Our goal is to dissolve the individuality. Do you, in your daily living, do you dissolve your individuality anytime? Apart from in front of your wife? Does it get dissolved? Anytime? It does. You don't know it, I'll tell you now, and you'll say, yeah man, it gets dissolved. Every time you go to sleep, your ego gets dissolved. That's why you get a deep, enjoyable sleep. And you wake up, again you put on the hat of the ego. Okay? Now we want that dissolution of ego to be permanent, not temporary, only for the night. We want it permanent. For that, so you have dissolved from childhood till today, you have dissolved it every day and taken on the ego every day. Right? If you keep doing the same thing, nothing is going to change. You need to change the rules of engagement to get different result. And the result you want is, I want to permanently dissolve the ego. Correct? Individuality. Now watch. So here he says that the first 4 qualifications that are required. Remember last night I told? What are they? Viveka. Remember this? Viveka, Vairagya, Shatka Sampatti and Mumukshutvam. First one is discrimination. Discrimination means always being aware what is divine and what is undivine. What is divinity? Is divinity in the statue? Is the divinity in the picture? Is the divinity in the Tirtha Kshetra? Is the divinity, oh, this place is looking very, I feel very peaceful and ecstatic here. Is that, it will go away after some time, just like sleep goes away after some time. So that is temporary. Whatever is temporary is undivine. Okay? Initial stages. From God's point of view, everything is divine. But from individual point of view, when we want to dissolve the ego, temporary divinity, temporary experiences, we have to put them apart. We want to dissolve completely. That is Vivek. Hold on to the constant principle, don't hold on to the changing principle. Second, what is that? Good. Second is Vairagya. Vairagya means dispassion. Dispassion comes, our scriptures say, don't live a desire-oriented life. If you live a desire-oriented life, eventually it will convert into greed. Desire leads to greed. Greed, this is the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. If you put attention on something, you will have a desire. If you have desire, it will turn to greed. Greed cannot be satisfied, it will lead to anger. If desire is not satisfied, it will lead to anger. Anger leads to delusion. Delusion leads to loss of memory, and loss of memory leads to lack of discrimination, and that is depression. That is very difficult to lift a man from that point. So catch yourself. Catch yourself. So here it says Vairagya and Vivek. So Vairagya is dispassion. Dispassion means living in this world in the midst of everything but not getting influenced by anything in this world. We are friendly to everyone but not overly friendly. We express emotions but we do not become emotional. We express anger but we don't become angry. In last one day only, how many times Trupti must have scolded these kids? But is there anger in her heart? No. It's only to correction. But there's no hatred, there's no dislike, there's no anger. But speech is, iski to phat jati hai. Mummy getting angry. Immediately starts behaving. So everyone knows how to do it. So do the drama. So while living in this world, expressing everything, but not getting caught up in the expression itself. So that is Vairagya. Then third is the fourth. Fourth is Mumukshutvam. Mumukshutvam. What is Mumukshutvam? Ask mummy. Mummy is wise. She is Amma's devotee. It means intense urgency to be one with the divine. An intense urgency to dissolve the ego. Intense urgency to merge into the Lord. That is Mumukshutvam. Yesterday you remember the 3 points? You were not there. The 3 points were there. And they were Manushyatvam, Manushyatvam, Manushyatvam was that it is very rare for a person to get a human birth. Very rare. After so many yonis, so many species, then you come to the human birth. And once, so it is very rare. This is told that Manushyatvam is very rare. So don't waste it. Cherish it. Respect it. Be grateful. Then what is the next thing that you do after having gained a human body? After gaining human body, don't live a desire-oriented life. Then what is to be lived? Mokshatvam. Manushyatvam. Mokshatvam was what? Desire liberation. Only through human birth you can desire liberation. Only a human can do the sadhana, do the practices to know the divine. And the third one was, suppose a person has got human birth and the person has an intense desire to liberate also. And many people want to liberate, but they get caught up with the wrong teachers. They get caught up in karma and etc. Pujas. Necessary. No doubt that it is not. It is absolutely. I have also done it. But there is a stage. First is karma, then it is yoga, then it is bhakti, and then it is jnana. It must flow in that direction. Whole life I keep doing japa. What will happen? What is the climax of devotion? Climax of devotion is knowledge of the divine. And what is the climax of knowledge? Surrender to the divine. Deep love towards the divine. And what is divine? The whole creation. Do we, as we are doing our sadhana, is our love for the whole creation increasing or decreasing? That is your pramana. So anyway, mumukshutvam, first one was what? Manushyatvam, mumukshutvam, an intense desire to liberate, and the third was mahapurusha sanshrayaha, that it is very rare to get a human birth. It is very rare among human beings to desire the truth, desire the Lord, to merge into the Lord, that and live life continuously thinking about that. And even rare you will find that you are coming in contact with wise people, saints and sages who can show you the direction. And when a person has a human birth, he has desire to merge into the Lord, he is a devotee, and he is getting the company of saints and sages and scriptures, such a person will achieve it in this life itself. But we must be available. What is that availability? We are looking at it now, and here it says, here it says, where are we? Where is it gone? The great sages have spoken. आदौ नित्य नित्य वस्तु विवेक परिगण्यते यहा मूत्रफल भोग वैरागस्तदनन्तरं समाधि षट्क संपत्ति मुमुक्षुत्वमिति स्फुटम. This is the vivek, vairagya, shatka sampatti and mumukshutvam. And yesterday's I have already recapped. Manushyatvam. What is the second one? Mumukshutvam, and the third one was Mahapurusha Sanshrayaha. So don't take that this human birth that you have got very lightly. It is a blessing. Use it for the right purpose. Don't get lost in unwanted things in the world. While performing wherever life has placed you in the world, every activity, every thought, every emotion, every experience, every contact must remind you of the divine. If that is taking place, in this life, everything will start happening. It's a foregone conclusion then. Teachers will come, the scriptures will come, the knowledge will come, the devotion will happen. You keep desiring the moksha. That's all. That is the purpose of a human birth. And then it is told that Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya Evam Rupo Vinishchayaha Soyam Nitya Nityaha Vastu Viveka Samudahruta. Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. And what is that? As a student, remember yesterday we talked about Samit Panihi. You come with the dried twigs to the teacher. That was a story. But here it is saying that a firm conviction, Brahma Satyam. What is that firm conviction? That Brahman alone, the divinity alone is real. How do we live? World is real. My children are real. My parents are real. My husband is real. My wife is real. No, there is only, you cannot have two realities. You cannot say God is real and this world is also real. Then there will be two realities. This is not accepted. Our scriptures say, Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. So, what is the status of this world? Now be ready for a bitter dose. In Ayurveda, they give you a dose. It's so, bitter kada is given to you, and when they close your nose and you put it inside, or once a year in India, कौन सा समय होली का समय होता है क्या something mom used to Mummy used to send us to get the fresh leaves of neem. And then she used to make us pisofy. And then add a little bit of khadi sakhar to it. And then she'll say, no, not eat. And then she's holding the spoon. Then dad, myself and my sister, we had to stand in queue. And one spoon. And you will, I don't know how you feel inside. But that one bitter one spoon of neem, it will take care of your entire system for the rest of the year. Isn't it? Similarly, this is one bitter truth that I am going to present to you right now. Here, what the verse is saying. What is it saying? Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. Means this whole world is mithya. Mithya means what? Illusion. Another way you put it?
It's not real.
It's not real. Another way you put it? Fake. Very, very good. Brainstorming. Another way you put it? Maya. Very good. Another way you put it? Say.
Illusion?
Pardon me?
Like an illusion?
Yeah, illusion. They already said illusion.
Not permanent, temporary.
Temporary, not permanent. Also very good. Another way to put it? That which appears but actually is not there. Give me an example.
Murgajal.
Ustad hai. He's saying mirage. Mirage water appears but you cannot drink the water. You see the sunrise and sunset, but actually there is no sunrise and sunset. Sun remains in one place. Earth is moving, but we say sunrise and sunset. We see the rainbow, but there is no rainbow. There is only sky, isn't it? Exactly the same way we see the dream, but does a dream exist? No. That's also Mrigajal. So similarly, Jagan Mithya. Jagan means Jagat. The entire world is, what is the status of this world? Like all these examples. Now what is the status of your husband? What is the status of your child? What is the status of your body? What is the status of your parents? What is the status of everything that you have accumulated? What is the status of your loan? Mithya. But we make it so real, isn't it? See, when you think of mithya, you will never get solutions to come out of mithya. When you think of divinity, automatically creativity gets inaugurated in your life, in your mind. And he reveals the ways of how to dissolve the mithya and come to the real in spite of the mithya, in spite of the appearance. So, Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya, what was it said? Evam Rupo Vinishchayaha. And he says that this phenomenal world is unreal. And when you come to know that there is only one reality and the whole world is an unreality, yet we are living, and our goal is what? To come to that reality. Living in this remembrance all the time is the first quality of the seeker, called Viveka. देखो, तो अपने आप को लगाओ. You do. We also do puja. Nowadays I don't do puja, but now I do japa. But once upon a time I did puja. Why do you do puja? Concentration. Yes, but temporary concentration, because your attention is on so many ingredients in the puja. If I do some, samarpayami, after that, if I don't wash my hands, dosh. So you have to be so alert about so many things, but it is required. But why do we do puja? Why do we do karma kand?
Purifying our mind.
So, Master has spoken. The only purpose of karma, whether you we are talking it at a gross level as karma, as puja, etc., or your duties in life. It is only for purification. When your system is purified to a large extent, what is the next stage that happens after purification? Someone tell?
Get ready for new.
I?
Get ready for new things.
Yes, get ready for new things. But what happens is, purification means what? Purification means the number of thoughts erupting in your mind are becoming less. The desires erupting in your mind are becoming less. Correct? That is what is purification. Your mind has to be totally purified in order to go to sleep. Otherwise, you will not go to sleep. Even if one thought is there, can you go to sleep? Not possible, isn't it? So purification means from many thoughts going to one thought. So what is karma kand? Karma kand, when you do all your duties, plus your puja, plus your disciplined life, in such a manner as an offering to the Lord, purification happens, and automatically in such a mind, urgency to know the divine, to merge into the divine, gets initiated. And such a person then starts doing manas puja rather than physical puja. From manas puja, now the whole puja is going on in his mind. But there also so much variety is there. As he that purifies his subconscious even further, then from all the mantras in the puja, he comes to one mantra. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namo Narayanaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Whatever your mantra. Let it reveal. Don't ask anyone, please give me a mantra. You become a slave of that person. You do the purification, and your heart will reveal, the Lord will in your heart reveal the mantra that you should chant. Then there is no confusion, because you know you were initiated by the Lord himself. See? So karma leads to purification. Purification leads to focus from many thoughts to one thought. That one thought is whatever mantra. So bhakti is about chanting the name of the Lord, remembering the Lord. And you start chanting the name, but your mind is not getting focused. So we start reading the stories. We start coming to know more and more about the stories of the Lord. So that our devotion to the Lord, our faith for that Lord, that particular which has revealed, I want to know more who he is. So if it is Lord Narayana, I will read Bhagavad. If I want to know Ram, I will read Ramayana. If I want to know Shiva, I will read Shiv Puran. And I come to know more about his glory. And the more I think about his glory, the more affinity I have towards that divine. And that mantra that comes out of my mind, Om Namah Shivaya, for example, has more power, because now it is backed with faith, it backed with conviction, it backed with no doubt. Backed with no doubt. This is the process. And then that leads in between, when you are coming to Shatka Sampatti. Here next one will be Tad Vairagyam Jehasaya Darshana Shravanadibihi Dehadi Brahma Paryante Yanitye Bhogavastuni. He says the desire to give up all transient enjoyments gained through. What are the transient enjoyments? That which comes and goes. So what I see comes and goes, what I hear comes and goes, because you are hearing my words, so many words, they are coming and going, coming and going. Nothing is sticking to your mind, isn't it? Everything is coming and going. Now in your life, is waking continuously there, or it's coming and going? Coming and going. Dream is continuous, or it's coming and going? Coming and going. Deep sleep? Coming and going. For Khushal, it is permanent. Till 11 o'clock. So even waking dream and deep sleep is transient. Transient means which comes and goes. It is not permanent. So here Vairagya. Vairagya means dispassion, disinterest, indifference towards that which comes and goes. But your mind has to put attention somewhere. If you are disinterested in all this, then where do you put attention? You put attention on the divine while functioning in the world. So if Vairagya is not that I go to Himalayas, I go to ashram, I go to leave all my responsibilities. When you go there, Om, 2 days you will remember. Om, third day, Arey yaar, wow, I think I made a mistake by leaving my family behind. How must they be surviving? If she doesn't work, where will the money come? Who will pay the loan? They must have thrown her out of the house. How will the children survive? Next day you will run back. So don't create unnatural circumstances in your life. And in this way, again, the third one is Shatka Sampati, which I was explaining to you last night. Virajya Vishayavata Dosha Drishtya Muhurmuhu Swalakshe Niyatavastha Manasa Shama Uchyate. Now he is going into all details, and what here is saying, Shama means control of your mind. How do you control your mind? Not desiring the world. That is the problem of the mind, it desires. Here it says, we are all very good at finding faults, isn't it? Of each other. We never want to find faults in ourselves, but we want to find faults in other people. Now you take that ability, which we are all adept in, take that ability and apply it to the world. Find fault with the world. What you see, what you hear, what you touch, what you taste, what you desire, find a fault with that desire also. Dosha Drishtya. Dosha Drishtya means find the fault in whatever you are perceiving and develop the Vairagya more and more and more. And how do you do it? By Shama. Then next is Dama, control your senses. Uparama, that while living in this world, not getting influenced by whatever has come, because you have practiced the first two. Control of the mind and control of the senses. Then Titiksha. Remember Titiksha? Titiksha is endurance. Even if you are controlled, sometimes some deep urge comes from inside, deep desire comes in, or some experience outside in the world comes and shakes you up. You just are not able to maintain that poise. So what do you do? Here it says Titiksha, endure it happily. And the challenges come in our life from three places. The three places are things that that are in our control. What is in my control? I built this house is in my control, isn't it? But while walking, if I hit my toe on the pillar there, whose fault is it? My fault, not pillar's fault. So this is the first one. Challenges, things that are in our control, but we interact with them improperly and they become challenges. Second, Adi Daivik, Adi Bhautik, this was Adi Bhautik, then Adi Daivik. Adi Daivik is, here this I just told you one wall, while walking you hit your foot on a stone. Whose fault is it? It's not stone's fault, it's your fault, you didn't look at it. Then Adi Daivik. Adi Daivik is natural calamities that come upon you. And last is Adhyatmik. Adhyatmik is things that are erupting in your mind and disturb you. Endure it happily. Don't complain. Don't complain. Purpose is not to complain. Purpose is to evolve. In life, everything is presented to us. All challenges are presented to us only because we are ready to evolve further. But when we keep complaining and complaining and complaining, we are crystallizing again into an ego. But challenges are coming in our life only so that we can melt our ego and grow into the image of the divine. So this is one big lesson. And all these 4 steps, Shama, Dama, Uparama, Titiksha, have to be done with Shraddha. Shraddha means, you all know the word? Faith. With faith. With sincerity, with devotion, with surrender. And the last one comes. What is the last one? In this Shat means 6. So these are the 6. The last one, when you do the Shama, Dama, Uparama, Titiksha with faith, the resultant is contentment, Samadhan. Without contentment in life, realization is not possible. Without contentment in life, progress is not possible. Without contentment in life, dissolution of the ego is not possible. Where there is discontent, ego is very strong. Work it out now for yourself. Where do we stand in life? Are we holding our guns or are we melting ourselves to flow? Merge into the divine. No challenge appears in our life just to trouble us. See, for a small person, a poor person, getting a meal is a challenge. For you, getting a meal is not a challenge. Maybe it is a challenge because you eat FFF, fresh from fridge. Maybe, I don't know. Huh? So, for a poor person, getting one meal a day is a challenge. For you, getting the car of your choice is a challenge. Why am I not getting it? He's saying, why am I not getting food? You are saying, why am I not getting the car that I want? I have the money. When will I get the promotion? When will I have that type of money so that I can get my dream car? The other fellow is thinking, for you, food is not a challenge. So it's all relative. It's all relative. So until and unless we are not content with what life has presented us at this very moment, that's the art. Be content that as it is, sab kuch changa bala hai. That growth is further possible. What is growth? Dissolution of the ego. And the last one here, will not go into, I have already explained to you all the 5 of them. Samadhan, ahankaradi dehantan, bandhan ajnana kalpitan, swaswarupava bodhena, moktum ichha mumukshuta. Now the last part, which remember, Vivek, Vairagya, Shatka Sampati and Mumukshutvam. Mumukshutvam is intense desire to liberate, to be one with the divine. What is it? Mumukshutvam is the burning desire to free oneself by realizing one's true nature. Not the physical nature, but the conscious nature. And what is that nature? That nature, that self, that consciousness is free from all bondages, is free of egoism, is free from identification with this body. A person, if you have come across Raman Maharishi, if you have not come across Raman Maharishi, read about Raman Maharishi, if you have read about कौन से गीता भवन के ऋषिकेश में एक महात्मा जी थे, both of them had cancer of the throat, and people used to say, Swami, you have got, and he used to wince in pain because there was throat cancer. So he couldn't even speak, but still he is giving lectures in Gita every day till the last moment. Raman Maharshi was silent. This Mahatma was, you have heard of Sadhak Sanjeevani? Sadhak Sanjeevani is a book on Bhagavad Gita from Gita Press. Ram Sukdas Ji Maharaj, Swami Ram Sukdas Ji Maharaj. So he had cancer. Both of them, devotees used to see, so much in pain, sir. Why don't you go to the doctor? He said, doctor cannot do anything. क्यों अपनी life extend करनी है फालतू में? So when the devotees used to become too disturbed, both Raman Maharishi and Ram Sukdas Ji say, what cancer? I am cancer. Situation suddenly changes. I am cancer. Why he was able to say I am cancer? Because I am everything. Ego is dissolved. There is nothing left outside the divinity. Just like the ocean says, all the waves I am. All the waves are in me, I am in all the waves. One in all in one. So is a Mahatma also, whose disposition, you see his body, but he is in everything and everything is in him. And that is, that leads to, that is the stage or disposition of a mumukshutvam. It will lead to that liberation where bondages are not imagined anymore. They dissolve away. And in this manner, we will leave it here, and 1 hour is over.
Can I ask you one question?
Please.
One of the things you were mentioning is the vihara, where you...
Say that again.
Vihara.
Vihara means?
Or the desire to leave. Desire to let go of your desire.
Yes.
For a normal person in general, desire is something which is the driver to attain whatever goals they want in life. Let it be work or even a simple game of tennis or cricket or whatever you desire to win, you want to achieve it. So desire plays that driver for you to achieve things. Without that, how do you find success? Or you can't define it. It depends on. It's not relevant.
No, it is correct. Good question. You are seeking success because you feel you are not successful.
Progress. We want to talk about our progress.
Now tell me. Do you create hunger or hunger comes? Hunger comes and the ego says, I am hungry.
Yeah.
Sneeze comes and then you say, I sneezed. You wake up and then you say, I am awake. So everything in life is actually happening by his will. Ego owns it and says, I am doing it. And because of that ownership, it feels that it has to do something in order to achieve. You cannot achieve anything less or anything more than what is already written for you. From the birth till were you born because of your will? Will you die because of your will? Then between birth and death, how can you have your own free will? So I'm just putting something. But while this is true, if there are desires to progress, continue till your understanding changes. But how do you continue? Perform, have the desires, but offer them to the divine. Don't do it for ego. Do it for the Lord. And once you start doing for the Lord himself will make your desires from gross to subtle to divine. Automatically the quality of desires will start changing. Desiring liberation is also a desire, isn't it?
Yeah.
The desire to go for pilgrimage is also a desire. Desire to eat good food is also a desire. So desire to kill also is a desire. Desire to shoot someone is also a desire. He said, I dislike this. This is also a desire. So your quality of desire starts changing when you offer your desire and the result of your work that you are doing to his feet. And see the transformation start happening. So we are not saying don't do it, because nobody can just give up the desire just like that. But let him, when we do everything for him, your quality of desires will start changing. Like when you were a bachelor, you never thought of taking care of a child. You didn't have a desire to take care of your children. You didn't have a desire to take care of a wife. You didn't have a desire to work day and night to maintain the family. Both. I'm not talking from only his point of view, even wives also. But once you got married, your desires changed. Once your children came, your desires changed, isn't it? Your goalpost changes after that. As you grow, as they turn teenagers, your goalpost will again change. Yeah? So same way, we are saying don't change your goalposts like this. That will happen anyway. But offer all your desires and the results of your desires to the divine. and you see the quality of desires transform. Mind's job is to have desires, it cannot stop. Ego gets entangled in the desires and eventually leads to depression. But if we can offer it to the Lord, there is a new way of living your life. Living, nobody is saying you have to live like a pauper. You must produce, but offer it to the divine. If he sees that he is offering to me, he is not taking ownership, he will give you more and more and more. And he will give you the ideas also, how to take care of what you have produced to share with one and all, because your mind will be transformed as a result of that.
Desire good things.
Pardon me?
Desire good things.
Good thing. Let him. He will prompt you to in which direction you have to go. As a child, or this child, or when I was a child, or any one of us was a child, did we know we were going to come to Australia? But life has unfolded and brought us here today, isn't it? Can you say it is because of your doing? Yes, we have put efforts, no doubt we have put efforts. But there is some higher hand which is at play. Huh? So recognize that. And not once in a while, on a day, every moment to moment basis. Anyone else? Or we conclude? Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Just sit quietly for a moment. Hari Om.